So guys, just how strong was Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime? Arnold Schwarzenegger was extremely strong, both in the context of bodybuilding and powerlifting. While he's best known for his physique and success in bodybuilding, he also had significant real-world strength. Arnold's introduction to strength began early. Inspired by bodybuilders like Reg Park and Steve Reeves, he began weight training as a teenager. He saw bodybuilding as a vehicle to escape poverty and make a name for himself internationally. His work ethic was obsessive. He trained 6 hours a day, often sneaking into gyms and creating makeshift equipment when access was limited. At just 20 years old, he became the youngest Mr. Universe, a title he would win 3 more times. He then went on to win the Mr. Olympia 7 times, a then record cementing his place as one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. Born on July the 30th, 1947 in the tiny village of Thal, Austria, near Graz, his childhood home, a modest flat without electricity or running water, sat across from an old castle and farmland. Life there was simple but harsh. His father Gustav, the local police chief and a strict disciplinarian, often physically disciplined Arnold and favoured his older brother Meinhard. Arnold later recalled this treatment is typical of the German-Austrian mentality, where conformity was expected. In contrast, he enjoyed a warm relationship with his mother Aurelia. Sports and bodybuilding were his outlets. Influenced by his athletic father and brother, he played soccer and other sports, and at 14 his football coach took him to a gym, sparking a passion and obsession for lifting weights that would last a lifetime. He pursued bodybuilding with remarkable intensity, breaking into the gym when it was locked and training relentlessly. At 18, Arnold completed mandatory military service, during which he famously went AWOL to compete in and win the Junior Mr. Europe title. He actually served a brief military prison sentence for that, but it marked his first major triumph. His progress continued. He won Mr. Universe in '67 at just 20 years old. By 1968, driven by dreams and success, Arnold moved to Munich and then to the US, speaking little English but bolstered by his competitive wins and fierce self-discipline. These early experiences, marked by poverty, harsh discipline, dyslexia, athleticism, and a laser focus on bodybuilding, fueling his rise from rural Austria to global stardom. But just how strong was Arnold? Physically, he was incredibly powerful. Standing at 6 foot 2 inches and weighing around 235 pounds in his prime, his physique was both massive and balanced, which was a rare combination. His numbers may not break powerlifting records, they are immense for someone focused on aesthetic bodybuilding. Arnold's real strength, however, came from how he used his physique to build a brand, a feat that required more than just muscle. Arnold trained hard and heavy, especially during his competitive bodybuilding years, which spanned the late 1960s to the early 1970s. While his exact max lifts weren't always recorded under competition conditions, here are the widely reported numbers for his prime. Bench press, 500 pounds. Squat, 545 pounds. Deadlift, 710 pounds. Clean and press, 275 pounds. These numbers are elite level even by today's standards. Though he wasn't a power lifter, he often trained like one. especially under the influence of strongmen and lifters like Reg Park and Franco Columbu. All his numbers are raw, without modern lifting gear like squat suits and bench shirts, and even in the late 1960s to early 1970s, which makes them all the more impressive. Arnold competed in both powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting before focusing entirely on bodybuilding. His best lifts, some in competition, were unofficial or in training. What is the difference between bodybuilding and powerlifting, you might ask? In bodybuilding, the goal is hypertrophy, muscle growth, which involves lifting heavy for moderate reps. In powerlifting, the focus is maximal strength, one rep maxes. Arnold was not the strongest man alive in raw strength, not compared to powerlifters or strongmen like Eddie Hall or Bill Kazmaier, but his strength was incredibly impressive for a bodybuilder. For example, most bodybuilders don't bench over 450 pounds regularly. Arnold deadlifted over 700 pounds. This puts him far above the typical gym goer and even most competitive bodybuilders today. Arnold combined size, symmetry, and strength. His arms measured around 23 inches, and he had a massive balanced physique without the help of today's advanced supplements or technology. His training focused on high volume sets, progressive overload, heavy compound movements, which included bench, squat, deadlift, rows, military press. His strength wasn't just raw numbers, it was sustained work capacity, mental toughness, and the ability to recover from intense 2 to 4 hour daily workouts. The bottom line, Arnold Schwarzenegger is stronger than 99.999% of people who have ever lifted weights. Stronger than most modern bodybuilders who now emphasize isolation training and aesthetics. Not as strong as top level powerlifters or world's strongest men competitors, but that wasn't his goal. So while he wasn't the strongest man in the world, he was a world-class strength athlete with numbers that rival many dedicated strength specialists, and he did it with charisma, purpose, and vision. Arnold's legacy goes beyond strength, goes beyond physical feats or career transitions. He's been open about his flaws, including infidelity, political missteps, and he has used them as lessons in growth. In recent years, he has become an advocate for environmental causes, anti-hate campaigns, and physical fitness for youth. His speeches, especially on discipline, vision, and personal responsibility, have inspired millions worldwide. Arnold's story is one of relentless evolution. He never allowed himself to be confined to one identity, whether bodybuilder, actor, businessman, or politician. His ability to reinvent himself, face criticism, and overcome obstacles shows a different kind of strength, the resilience to grow, and the courage to lead. Arnold remains closely connected with all five of his now grown children. The people profile emphasized he maintains a strong and loving relationship with all of his children. He speaks fondly of ongoing family support, co-parenting with ex-Maria Shriver. They've handled holidays and events jointly. If there's Oscars for how to handle divorce, Maria and I should get it, Arnold said. Arnold describes fatherhood as the greatest joy and highlights that watching his kids grow and even parent their own children fills him with pride. Despite the divorce in 2011 and the revelation of Joseph's paternity, Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver maintained a family unity, emphasizing that their children remain the emotional center of both of their lives. Arnold still trains regularly. He hits the gym every morning, often at Gold's Gym. In his words, you don't stop training because you get old. you get old because you stop training.